just going to show here the 5-1 tendril tactics for solo DoA. So I'm just going to run through this video showing how it's done, and then kind of point out a few things that can be different depending on spawns. So this first bit's just going to be pretty standard. You just kill the tendril, recasting your enchants, and just do the 4 Fiend for Hunger. So there's not much to say here. I kind of get a bad spawn here, right? Like the spawn's quite far from the melee only tendrils, so I'm kind of slow in this run. But I'll go back and say what's different if you have a good spawn here. So you see, because of that spawn, I kind of need to recast SF kind of around here. Whereas if you have a good spawn, you'll be able to go all the way up to this tendril before you have to recast, I think. So yeah, I'm just killing the next tendril. The thing to note around here is that I don't recast Shroud when I need to, right? Here would be the normal recast, so I'm just delaying my Shroud here. And that's just so it lasts long enough to the end of the run. And I need to recast SF here, so that's because of the bad spawn, right? If you have a good spawn on the first tendril, then your SF will be recast kind of as you're killing this one or just before you're killing this one, and then you won't need to wait here for it to go again. You can just straight away pop the Power Stone and continue. So you see here, I have to recast, but then I pop a Power Stone and immediately you cast these 2 stack enchantments, and then you go on this tendril, and kind of whilst you're killing it, recast the Shroud, and then sort of as late as possible cast Dwarven. And then once you got aggro of the group, just run forwards, put SF up on this tendril, and kill that one, and straight to the next tendril. I think this group will always aggro to you here whilst you're killing this final tendril. So once you killed it, you gotta make sure that your stack enchantment's on recharge. Just run forward to the left side and just cast it, and you should normally be able to cast it without being rupted. If you do get rupted here, I think it is possible, depending on just kind of how these fiends move. It's not a failed run. You just need to recast the other stack enchantment after Shadow Form, so a bit later. But you'll see here I'm just killing all the melees, and once they're mostly dead, I just run up the hill to cast SF. And if you did get rupted on this enchant here, I think you'd probably have to just run forward, pulling further, and then cast this other stack enchantment, because you do need one of them up in order to have proper damage reduction. But here I wasn't rupted, so it's fine. And then you just kill the fiends, and obviously make sure that you kill them all in the ball. Otherwise you'll be kind of stuck with not enough souls to finish them. So that's basically how it works. So I was kind of explaining as I went along, but I'll just go back. On this first one here, potentially the fiends might spawn over here, right? Or near the quest guy or something. It's a bit of a better spawn. And in that case, after you've killed them, you'll still have quite a bit of time before you need to recast SF. You'll be able to kill the melee only tendril. So yeah, this one, you'll be able to kill this one, and then even pull up here and maybe even start killing this one before you need to recast your Shadow Form. And in that situation, basically, as soon as you're killing this tendril here, and you know that you're not going to need to wait for another Shadow Form cycle, you can just pop the Power Stone and just immediately cast these 2 enchantments. And then you'd run onto this tendril here, where I'm going now, and you'd recast Shroud on that tendril, so exactly as what I do in this run. So let's see, Power Stone will happen here. So you basically just always want to Power Stone, recast these 2 enchantments, run onto this tendril and cast your Shroud as you're killing that tendril. And then always Dwarven, sort of as late as possible. You just want Dwarven to kind of last until you need to recast SF, not this one, right, because I go on the tendril here. So you see SF is recast here, so you want your Dwarven, see my Dwarven's lasting 32 seconds, my SF recharge is 26. So long as Dwarven is longer than that SF, then you're fine, because you're going to be recasting SF up here, and by that point all the melees should be dead, so you don't really need Dwarven after that. And then I think the rest of this is all going to be the same. Obviously you might need to wait a bit for the spawn. Oh yeah, there is one thing to say here actually. So you see here my fiends are kind of spawned in a good place. So I'll explain a little bit about the SF recast here. So we're casting on this corner up here, and the idea really is to get the fiends on the low ground. So you see how I kind of run forward here. There's this kind of channel here, in the middle of my screen right now. That's low at the lowest point, and I'm kind of trying to get the fiends to be sitting in there. So if you look on my mini-map here, they're all kind of sitting in that channel at the bottom, and then by running up the hill, they have to get much closer to me in order to hit me with the arrows. So I have quite a lot of time where I can just recast SF without being ruptured. If you get a bad spawn on this last tendril, right, so this one here, and the fiends can potentially spawn like over here somewhere, that's kind of bad, because then you're not going to have that same time to cast SF. So that's kind of why I'm trying to like run down to the left here, which should pull any fiends that spawn up here. They should pull to like here, like which is still like in the low ground, so it should be fine. But that's something to like watch out for. That's a potential place it might fail if you have like a really bad spawn and these fiends don't really aggro. There's a potential one of them could like rupture you as you're running up the hill. I think that's kind of covered the main things. I think I already said about here. Like obviously I recast the stack enchantment here. It's possible to get ruptured here, I think. If you see when these like choking gases coming in, it just depends upon how these move. Like it's a quarter second cast skill, so it's like often you can kind of do it. So yeah, see, I got hit by one there. I think it's like because I was a bit body blocked and like kind of not moving in a straight line and stuff. It's gonna happen. But yeah, if that happens, you just continue the same, recast your shadow form up this hill, and then recast the other stack enchantment afterwards by running forward. So here you'd like just run up this way and recast it. I guess the only other thing to note is that the timing of when you cast this SF is quite important. You don't want to be like running like far up this hill and recasting SF out here, because you're going up the hill, the fiends will be much closer to you, so it's possible that like you kind of stop to cast SF, and then the fiends stop and shoot the arrows, and because they're a shorter distance from you, those arrows actually like rupture your SF. So it's kind of important to be casting it like right here, like close to the hill, where the fiends are still moving from the low ground up the hill to get to you. And so it's important to like make sure your SF is recharged at that time. Like this timing is good here. You see like this cast, you see how much time there is before they can hit me. Yeah, that's basically it.